world, you know, I walk down the stairs and throw myself the last 4 steps. 4 feet, fly through the air, bang, hello. You know, I had my life under control all the way to that moment. I mean, I was on top of it, right? Bam. Yeah, so even when we think we have it under control, we don't.
I don't think I ever have my life in control. Some people think that.
Yeah, well, and usually we think that's the bad news. But it's actually the good news. It means you can relax and enjoy it and actually begin to work with it that way. So music, when you look at it, and improvised music comes right out of life. It's not something somebody made up. It comes right out of our experience as human beings. Right? So this isn't a lecture. If anybody wants to jump in, you can. It's fine. So that's one of the foundations we work with. And then, how do we work with that process? How do we train in getting more relaxed, maybe, with that? And how to see it as something that's, you know, you can walk down the street and you can be practicing music. You can just look out a window and you're practicing photography by just seeing. And getting so you don't shut down your senses. You know? So that you have a way to work with this all the time, 24/7 if you want. You're very demanding, you know. But you find these ways to work with it. So that's kind of a foundation where we want to start. Everybody comfortable with that? Questions about that? Insights? Negativities? I don't care. This is all improvised too, folks. Not a clue. I was just shocked you were all here this morning. Like, uh-oh.
There's tea and muffins.
Yeah, there's tea and muffins too. It's like, whoa, this is getting scary. Is that okay, what we just talked, or I just talked about? Yeah. Good. It's important if it's not, or you touch something that. And I believe that as artists, that we have to look at these things really fundamentally, and these are the kinds of things we can think about. What are you doing? How are you doing? How are you making this dinner? How are you cooking that food? How you start driving your car? All that stuff, and it sounds corny, you know, and it also sounds very tiring. But how you're going to approach that? You know, because you're suddenly not going to just walk up on the bandstand and suddenly make magical music. Don't work that way. Right? You're not going to walk around all day freaked out, right? And suddenly get the guitar in your hand and go, ah, rough guard. You know, it don't work that way. It's going to come out there too. You know, it's going to be reflective. So we have to work with the total approach to our lives. As artists, no problem with that word right. So what I like to work with this weekend is this morning particularly, and part of this afternoon, and hopefully we'll get to solos and duets this afternoon playing. And that will all be very much, very simple. That's the simplest form of playing, the solos, but it's also the most difficult. Anybody, I mean, it's really hard to play a solo, to make a solo anything. Duo, what?
I feel like I know a lot of people who it seems that it's more difficult for them to play with other people than by themselves.
Yeah.
And have a really hard time.
Multiplied. No, but just to do it and really make a composition all by yourself without any help, it's kind of lonely. You know, and then you get with other, and then the neurosis and the beauty gets magnified, and you add a trio, and it starts to get whoa, quartet, uh-oh. You know, and then a group this size, which will be making music hopefully tomorrow by this size group. Everybody's got to be really in it, completely committed. So hopefully we're going to train you that. And today I'd like to work with the first foundation of that for me, which is the ability to hear and listen, or listen and hear. It keeps going back and forth. Sometimes I'm absolutely convinced that you hear, then you listen. And sometimes I'm convinced that you listen and then you hear. So maybe it just goes both ways. I don't know, anybody got any thoughts on that?
Chicken and the egg.
What?
Chicken and the egg, right?
Yes. Right.
Who knows?
Sometimes I think you hear something and that catches you, you begin to listen. Sometimes you're listening and then you hear something. This is a simple exercise that you can do anywhere, and I would encourage you to try to do it every day. Or if you're just standing, you can do it just sitting there, standing there waiting at a stop sign, across the street. You can either wait or you can listen. And see what's going on and hear it. And that tunes this up. Because this is our first instrument. So these exercises today are relating to the first instrument, which is body. It's not what you have out here or here or here. That's already too far down the line. Body has to be related to as the first instrument. Body and mind. Yeah? So, this is the listening exercise. We're going to start very simply. Dave's practicing over there. That's all right, man. I watched you do it for 2 weeks. It's cool. I know, man. It's a drummer thing.
That's all I do. I go to a restaurant and I just sit there, tapping my feet. My parents are like, "What's that noise?" Oh.
Say I'm practicing.
Yeah.
That'll get you a little space, but after a while.
Oh, yeah, no space anymore. Now it's just like, Dave, shut up.
It's the drummer's t-shirt. Just shut up, please. Okay, so I'd like you to do this and just start by sitting up a little bit. And